Hey there, vinyl community. Um, was inspired the other day. Dom, Seeking the Thread had a live stream, and a bunch of the guys on there were showing. Faust in the Head was on there, and Alex and um, a bunch of folks were on. Jose was on there. Anyway, they were showing a lot of really amazing records and some Krautrock, and it really kind of inspired me. I went back and I started. I had a while ago grabbed this book, and I went through a strong, and I still love um, Krautrock. You know, it's one of my probably my primary um, genres of music that I really get into and love, and really kind of opened up a lot um, musically from you. What an amazing investigation Krautrock is. So I thought I would, inspired by the guys over there, I thought that I would show a few records too that were related in some way to the more progressive end of the Krautrock, phenomena. So I don't know how they all fit in together, but for somehow they all kind of fit for me. Um, I'm sure these aren't so rare that you're not, familiar with them, but they're important records to me. Electric Silence. I don't know how many folks know this one. Um, this is an interesting record. Um, I'm tempted to call it uh, jazzy end of the krautrock um, phenomena. It's got that really intriguing cover, and oddly, somehow fits the music. It's jazzy, but unlike I'm really not a big fan of what people typically think of as progressive rock. Not that there's anything wrong with it, and if you like that, that's wonderful and enjoy. But I've never really been too able to get into the whole like Yes and bands like that. That's just never really been my scene. Um, and while this heads on the more progressive end of things in the krautrock genre, this has a lot more atmosphere than I feel like those records have, and the instrumental portions have a purpose in creating a greater sense of mood and spirit, a certain kind of primitive, ritualistic outcome that comes here that maybe you don't hear on bands like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, or that end of things. Um, this is a great record. I was lucky enough to. I was in one of my locals one day when a guy came in and traded in a massive um, krautrock collection, which sounds great, and it was. A lot of them weren't in the best condition, and the prices were, while I stood there, going up. This is one that not too many people were aware of or had heard of. That was just, other than it does have the glue has come off right here, which I have not repaired yet. I'm a little bit reluctant to change anything, but other than that, it's immaculate. And the vinyl is like the day it was the day it was purchased, and for the price, I just couldn't say no. But yeah, if you have a chance to check this out and you aren't afraid of that more progressive end, jazzy end of krautrock, don't let that scare you too much away. There's lots of experimentalism and lots of subtleties going on here that when you say the word progressive, you don't necessarily think of, but they're all part of this. Great record and highly recommended. On the show the other night, somebody showed they were showing Faust albums, and love Faust, you know, but finding the originals has been hard. Um, some come your way and some don't. But I found something. I just kind of wanted to show it off real quick because, you know, we've all kind of been warned about this label, for men with beards, and everyone shies away from their releases. I found a version of So Far. You can see that, and this is on For Men with Beards, and it is a pretty great reissue. It sounds great, and so you think, okay, they did a good job with the sound quality, and they did. But in addition to the sound quality of the record, the original came with these printouts, and they did an amazing job in reproducing each one of these portraits that came with the original, and they're nice. It's comes in a nice little package. They don't get ruined. I was shocked, and for the money, I think I paid $15 for it or something like that. It couldn't be resisted, and I thought, well, the sound won't be so hot. I put it on my stereo, and it sounded great. Now, I've never heard an original, and the original might be mind-blowing for all I know. I can't imagine it being that much better than this is. So, for what it's worth, if you ever get a chance, you see this, and it has those innards with it, I'd grab it, and it's, I think, well worth it. Next, this is kind of an odd pickup. It's a reissue. Luna Afana. This is by a musician. His name is Walter Backauer, and this is a pretty interesting record. Imagine a little bit more driving version of Tangerine Dream. You know, lots of lunar, explorations going on, and but with more of a kick to it and more of a drive. The Motorek is there driving this along pretty nicely. Again, has a little bit of that jazziness to it in the best sense. Sometimes I hear people describe things as jazzy, and it scares me. I start thinking of Steely Dan, and I don't want to go there. But this is something a little bit different, and jazz in the best sense of that word. What I mean is explorative and improvisational to a certain degree. Lots of great atmosphere. Great little record. If you see it, it's on Survival Research, 2020 reissue. This originally came out in '81, so it's really past the prime of what we normally think of as Krautrock. Although there was some good, check out La Dusseldorf if you have any questions about '80s Krautrock. Nice little record, nice little reissue, and I'm glad I grabbed this. It gets a fair amount of listening on my player. Next is a record. I think everyone's pretty familiar with it, but I never see anybody show it with the same sleeve cover that I have, and so this is. I'm on Duel II, but with what I think is a better sleeve. This is a 2000. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's a 72 reprint of the record, and I've seen the originals, and they look great. Of course, it's an original. But to be honest with you, I really like that sleeve a lot. And it's on this Sunset Records. And English, um, I've looked it up on contemporary series. From what I could find out about it, I thought it was a 72 reissue with a great record with a pretty cool cover. I thought it fit in because it was kind of, all of these have that overlapping, um, you know, improvisational spirit of jazz flowing through them. And I think that that's here too. And great record, cool cover. I don't even know if I would trade this in if I got a new one. I think I'd keep it just because I dig that cover so much. And okay, one more. This is a record, a little bit of a story with it. I think everyone's kind of familiar with it. I've seen it around a little bit. I know Alex. I saw it on one of his videos when I was just watching videos before I was ever doing my own, and I think I saw Alex do a video that included this. And this is Wolfgang Dauner. And I walked into a record store one day, and they had a jazz section, and they had some pretty expensive, blue note jazz stuff mainly. And as I'm flipping through the bin, they've got this record in there, and it's sealed. I've opened it. Records are meant to be played, and I play them. But this thing was sealed, and I've always wanted this album. The cover alone is, something that you want to have in your collection. But the music is I always found it really intriguing. Listen, and people are sometimes a little bit critical of it. I think there's some really interesting stuff going on here, particularly. I look through this Abraxas, the final track on here is great, and also I think Nothing to Declare. I think I'd use that opening drum roll if I was ever going to make like an music intro for videos on YouTube. I would use the opening drum roll to Nothing to Declare. I just think that's got a great drive to it, and sounds like an opening to a program or something like that. Anyway, I picked this up, pretty good price, and it was sealed. And I was almost afraid that I got it home and I thought, what did I do? Buy some reissue that I'd never heard of, or a bootleg? I thought I bought a bootleg, I bet, and I immediately started looking into it. And no, it's an original that's been sitting in the shrink wrap since 1970, and this, notice that little sticker right there, Peaches. So in the Detroit area, and I think in the Midwest, there was a branch of record stores called Peaches, and they were like these warehouses full of records. There used to be one not far from my house. I could convince my dad about once a month to, on the weekend, drive me over to Peaches, and I would spend the afternoon there looking through records and buying like one record and being there for 4 hours as I looked through and investigated stuff. But Peaches was a record store that was around for a long time, and they had a pretty good import section, and they would pull in stuff like this, and that's where that sticker comes from. $6.29. I paid a little bit more than that, but not that much more. Cool find. Yeah, I kept it in the shrink for those that don't like the shrink. I like it because I like the sticker being on there, and I think that looks cool. So, and if you're not familiar with this record, it's mixing kind of a little industrial jazz, free jazz, krautrock, um, all of that. It's at that, the intersection of all of those styles coming together and creating something that I think is completely unique. And the cover fits the music. And if you haven't heard it, go on YouTube and listen to Abraxas. It's got this Middle Eastern um, tribal traveling caravan kind of feel to it. Very mysterious, very yeah, worth the price of admission. But that's not the only good track on here. This is full of great music. So, yeah, just a quick stop in and show a few records after I was inspired to head to a sometimes neglected portion of my record collection. Thanks, guys, for showing all those amazing records. They showed some of those Faust records you guys were showing where they had my heart racing. So, anyway, thanks, VC. Talk to you soon.